Hello, everyone. In today's video, I bring you an extremely important message that needs to be widely known. It's a revelation from the Virgin Mary that warns us of an imminent event capable of radically transforming our lives and the very course of the world. Over the centuries, many have seen the Virgin Mary's apparitions as a divine call, a way of preparing us for the great challenges that lie ahead. And what I'm about to share with you now is no different. This message is a real call to attention and action. From the first moments of this video, you will understand the depth of this revelation and the seriousness of what is to come. The Virgin Mary, in her apparitions, has always insisted on the need to be spiritually prepared, to turn to God, and to live a life of conversion. The warning she brings us now is even more urgent, pointing to an event that could change the course of history. Stay with us until the end, and you will know exactly what has been revealed and how you can prepare for what is about to happen. But what is about to happen? And how can this revelation profoundly impact your life and the lives of everyone around you? Throughout history, the Virgin Mary is said to have manifested herself at critical moments, such as in Fatima, Portugal in 1917, and in Lourdes, France in 1858. More recently, since 1981, apparitions have continued to occur in Medjugorje, always bringing an essential message. Humanity needs to return to the path of God. These apparitions always carry a tone of urgency. In Fatima, for example, the Virgin Mary warned of the imminence of a Second World War, and a few years later, the world was plunged into one of the most devastating conflicts in history. What these messages have in common is the warning of the dangers of turning away from God, the importance of prayer, and the need for sincere repentance. There is a pattern to Mary's apparitions. She only appears when the world is in great spiritual crisis or in times of extreme need. And although each of her messages is particular to the time and place in which it occurs, they all share the same call: a profound transformation of life, a true conversion. However, in recent times, the messages have become even more urgent, suggesting that we are approaching a turning point in human history. Even in the face of the great challenges she points out to us, there is always a message of hope. Mary shows us that, even in the worst tribulations, there is a path to redemption and peace. Now, more than ever, we are invited to listen carefully and prepare our hearts for what is to come. The Virgin Mary's most recent message, which we will reflect on today, follows a familiar pattern, but with even greater gravity. The revelation warns us of an imminent event, the magnitude of which will not be limited to one country or continent, but will affect the entire world. According to her words, the time for preparation is running out, and a great upheaval is approaching, bringing with it repercussions that will involve every sphere of human life, from the environment to the economy, politics, and above all, spirituality. The Virgin Mary is warning us that we are about to go through a period of great transformation and trials. To understand the seriousness of this message, it is essential to look back and see how her prophecies in places like Fatima and Lourdes have been fulfilled over time. These were not mere words, but divine warnings that came true, demonstrating that the Blessed Mother's warnings need to be taken very seriously. In this video, we'll delve into the latest revelation. What the Virgin Mary shared about the imminent event is something that demands our full attention and preparation. She was direct and categorical in stating that the world is about to face an unprecedented test, an event that will put the faith and endurance of humanity as a whole to the test. According to reports, this event will serve as a global cleansing, affecting all nations and bringing to light hidden truths, as well as exposing the fragility of the structures in which humanity has placed its trust. Many will be taken by surprise by this event, because they have ignored the clear signs that are already present all around us. The time for complacency is over. Now is the time to prepare for a profound transformation that will affect every aspect of life on Earth. The Virgin Mary's message makes it clear that this event is not just an isolated crisis, whether natural or economic, but a confluence of events that will mark the beginning of a new era. Among the warnings, Maria mentioned that a sequence of natural catastrophes will hit regions hitherto considered stable. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, storms, and floods will be part of this scenario, bringing destruction and surprise to many. However, the warning is not limited to the physical plane. The Virgin Mary has also predicted a profound spiritual crisis in which humanity, already fragile, will stray even further from its core values, plunging into spiritual confusion and a general feeling of hopelessness. This imminent event will, in essence, be a kind of judgment on humanity. It will not be a random punishment, but a direct consequence of our actions, of how we treat the world, our fellow human beings, and our own spirituality. Once again, the Virgin Mary is calling us to reflection, conversion, and preparation, reminding us that even in the midst of the greatest trials, faith and prayer will be our greatest strength. The time is now. The time for ignoring the signs is over. The Virgin Mary brought us a worrying warning about the imminence of a collapse in international relations. In her message, she predicted that tensions between nations would intensify to the point of triggering larger-scale conflicts, eventually culminating in a devastating global war. However, this war will be unlike any other ever seen. It will involve an unprecedented type of confrontation, in which nations will use weapons and technologies capable of causing mass destruction and endangering the survival of all humanity. This warning is not just a gloomy forecast, but an urgent call to global awareness. The Virgin Mary is offering us what may be the last opportunity for nations to seek peace and reconciliation before it is too late. She has made it clear that this impending conflict will be the catalyst for profound changes in the world order, reorganizing the global scenario in ways that, at the moment, we can't even predict. Yet amid this grave message, there is also a promise of hope. Even in the face of the suffering that such a conflict will bring, the Virgin Mary emphasized that this will also be a period of purification and renewal. Those who hold firm to their faith and seek reconciliation with God will find the strength they need to get through these difficult times and will be protected in spiritual and perhaps even physical ways. It calls us to serious and profound spiritual preparation, highlighting prayer, conversion, and love of neighbor as the essential pillars for strengthening ourselves in the face of what is to come. The message is clear. Time is running out and preparation is crucial if we are to face the challenges of the future. One of the most frightening aspects of this recent message from the Virgin Mary is the prediction of a major global conflict, something that could be unfolding right before our eyes. She spoke about the geopolitical tensions we are already witnessing, where small local disputes in regions already known for their instability, such as the Middle East or Eastern Europe, can quickly expand into a major international war. These initially isolated conflicts, due to the alliances and strategic interests of the great powers, will quickly spread, involving powerful nations and dragging the world into a world war with devastating consequences. The Virgin Mary is said to have described scenes of mass destruction, in which new weapons, never before seen by humanity, would be used, causing an impact not only on the battlefields, but also among civilian populations in a tragic and irreparable way. This conflict will not be limited to the use of military force. It will be amplified by economic and cyber warfare, in which the great powers will try to weaken each other by any means possible. The battles will not only be fought with bombs and tanks, but also with cyber sabotage and economic collapse, directly affecting the way of life of ordinary people around the world. In the midst of this devastation, however, the Virgin Mary continues to offer us hope. She reminds us that, despite everything, there will be redemption for those who remain faithful and who seek the path of prayer and conversion. The future may look bleak, but there is a promise of renewal and peace for those who are willing to prepare themselves spiritually and live with love for their neighbor. The time for complacency is over, and now is the time to act and seek refuge in faith. The Virgin Mary, in her most recent messages, is said to have warned of the imminent disruption of global supply chains, an unprecedented collapse that would result in a devastating food crisis. She described a scenario where entire economies would collapse, leading to famine, shortages of basic resources, and widespread despair. Amid the struggle of nations for power and dominance, the world's population would suffer deeply, experiencing a level of chaos and disorder never before witnessed in history. This event will be the culmination of political, social, and economic divisions that are already visible all around us. The Virgin Mary warned us that we are approaching a real point of no return, where humanity will have to deal with the consequences of its spiritual disconnection and its incessant quest for power and material wealth. In addition to the great global conflict she predicted, the Blessed Mother mentioned other signs that indicate that this crisis is closer than we think. She spoke about the increase in natural disasters, such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and storms, which will occur with alarming frequency and intensity. These events will not only affect regions already known for their vulnerability to disasters, but will also reach areas previously considered safe. Nature, according to the Virgin Mary, is reacting to the spiritual state of humanity, reflecting the disorder and lack of harmony that we ourselves have created in the world. In addition, the Virgin Mary warned of a deep and unprecedented spiritual crisis, where faith will be severely tested. In the midst of the coming confusion and fear, many will turn away from moral and spiritual values. She pointed out that the reversal of what is considered sacred, as well as the departure from the principles that underpin human dignity and the relationship with the divine, are clear signs that we are on the brink of a transformative event. This great event, as described by prophecy, will be a watershed for humanity, a time of judgment and purification. For those who hold firm to their faith and seek the truth, it will also be a time of hope. The Virgin Mary comforts us by stating that, after this period of great tribulation, a new era of peace and renewal will emerge for those who remain faithful, trusting in God and the power of prayer. She emphasized, however, that the time for this preparation is running out. The signs that this moment is coming accumulate every day, and the window of opportunity to avoid or at least mitigate the effects of this impending catastrophe is rapidly closing. The Virgin Mary's warning is an urgent call for us to wake up, both spiritually and emotionally, and prepare for what is to come. Preparation, given the seriousness of the message, is not just a matter of material survival, but above all spiritual and emotional. The Virgin Mary always stressed the importance of prayer as a powerful tool for protection and transformation. To face the challenges ahead, she would have advised us to intensify our prayer life, seeking a deeper connection with the divine and with our own hearts. This preparation is not limited to traditional prayers, but involves a true inner conversion. This means seeking reconciliation with God and with others, allowing forgiveness, compassion, and love to become the foundations of our lives. It calls us to turn to forgotten values, which are essential for strengthening our spirit against the external trials that lie ahead. This internal renewal will be our greatest defense in the face of the great purification to come, and it is through this that we will be able to find true peace, even in times of tribulation. As well as highlighting the importance of spiritual preparation, the Virgin Mary would have drawn attention to the need to be vigilant in the face of the signs and to act prudently as the great changes approach. Wisdom, according to her, lies in seeking a balance that goes beyond the spiritual, also ensuring material preparation for the difficult times ahead. This includes practical and careful actions that can make a difference in times of tribulation. She would have suggested that people act sensibly, taking simple but effective measures such as storing food and water and ensuring that their homes are prepared to face natural events. Prudence also involves cultivating a spirit of mutual aid, because in times of crisis, solidarity will be one of the most important pillars for overcoming challenges. Preparing should not be motivated by fear, but rather by a sense of responsibility and protection, both for oneself and for others. In the midst of these adversities, the Virgin Mary would have emphasized the importance of building and strengthening bonds of community. She invites us to form support networks that can be essential during times of greatest trial. Unity and cooperation, in this context, will be sources of strength and hope for all those who share the same faith and determination to get through the difficulties ahead. It encourages the practice of charity as one of the main acts of preparation, reaching out to those most in need and being an example of light in the midst of darkness not only strengthens us internally, but also creates a chain of kindness that can make all the difference. This kind of attitude prepares us spiritually, but also unites us to the greater purpose of living in harmony and love, even in times of chaos. True preparation involves a renewal of core values, such as compassion and empathy. The Virgin Mary's message, therefore, is not only a warning for times of difficulty, but also a call to hope. She reminds us that, however bleak future events may seem, there is always a path to redemption and renewal. The period of tribulation, she predicts, will also be a time of purification for humanity. Those who stand firm in their faith, who seek the truth and remain faithful to their spiritual mission, will find the strength they need to weather the storms. This is a time of spiritual awakening, an invitation for all of us to go back to basics and rediscover what really matters in life. What is to come should not be seen only as a time of suffering, but as an opportunity for humanity to renew itself and strengthen its relationship with God. The promise of a new era of peace and light is available to all who embrace the Virgin Mary's message, preparing themselves not only materially, but above all spiritually. Those who have faith and who dedicate themselves to this preparation with love and trust will be able to witness the arrival of a new era, where peace and light will prevail over darkness. This new era will be the fruit of a transformed humanity which, through trials, will find its way back into harmony with the divine. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your like and subscribe to the Living Hope channel on YouTube. Activate notifications by clicking on the bell to receive other publications.